Good morning and a very, very warm welcome to what is our second ever Caljan webinar. Firstly, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. Our focus today is going to be on the Caljan AutoLoader, which is part of the Caljan Automated Products division. We aim to provide some interesting information and insight into the latest Caljan innovations and look forward to some engaging questions. And speaking of which, you will see at the top of your screen, there is a Q&A section of this webinar. If you, during this webinar, would like to pose us any questions, please add them to the Q&A segment and we'll get through as many of those as we can towards the back end of this session. So our agenda for this webinar, we'll have a brief introduction, Caljan Automated Products, the Caljan AutoLoader in more detail, the new concept that we have, the applications, technology centres, and then, as I said, we will finish with this Q&A. So if you'll allow me, I will give you a very brief introduction now, and then we'll walk very quickly through the automated products and then into the detail on the loader itself. So, an introduction. Thankfully today, you do not have to just listen to me. I have some colleagues to help me. Joining me today will be Cecilia and Matthias, and I'll allow them now to introduce themselves before we get going. Cecilia.
Thank you, Paul. My name is Cecilia Olsen. I am the International Sales Manager for Automated Products globally at Caljan. I have proudly been a part of the Caljan family for 8 years now, and I'm working out of our headquarters in Aarhus, Denmark. I'm thrilled to be a part of the innovative team at Caljan, which is dedicated to shape the future of the company. Now I'll hand the word over to Matthias.
Thank you, Cecilia. Yeah, my name is Matthias Larsen, and I'm the product specialist for our autoloader in the engineering department. And I'm also working from our headquarters here in Aarhus, Denmark, and I've been with Caljan for a little over 8 years. Back to you, Paul.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. The guys will come back later on and present their segments of this webinar. But to conclude that, my name is Paul Byers. I'm the Global Sales Director for Caljan Automated Products Division. I'm based out of the UK and been with Caljan for a little over 14 years now. So prior to this, heading up the UK sales division. Took on this role around a year ago when we started the automated automated products division of Caljan. I'm very proud to be part of this piece of work that we're doing, innovating at the dock. So into the details. Our mission as Caljan, for those of you who don't know, we create value for the logistics industry, handling high volumes of loose loaded cargo efficiently through innovation, people and partnership. And I think innovation is probably the key word in that for us as we talk about automated products. Our vision is to be the best-in-class global supplier, delivering solutions for handling loose-loaded cargo. So for those who don't know, Caljan are broken up into 4 divisions. Our manual loading and unloading, which is our world-renowned telescopic conveyor range. And I'm sure most of you have either got some of these machines, seen some of these machines, or hopefully in the future would want to purchase some. It's our cornerstone and what we're built on as a business. We have our automated products division, which is our latest and most recent division of Caljan, and we'll come on to that in more detail. And then we have our document handling and labeling, which is out of our facility in Germany, and finally our aftermarket or service division. And it's worth noting for our aftermarket, more than 30% of our employees globally actually work in the aftermarket workforce, cementing our commitment to not only selling our products, but supporting them in the field as well as we go. Caljan truly has a global reach. This is demonstrated by this lovely map that we have here. We've got dedicated offices in a high number of EU countries, but also in North America. And where we don't have our dedicated offices, we do have a network of distributors selling our products into territories where we don't have direct representation. Our head office in Aarhus in Denmark, where our company was founded. We have our German facility in Halle, which is our competence center for labeling and document handling and labeling. We have our facility in the US out of Wisconsin, where we manufacture and assemble our telescopic boom conveyors. We have our facility in the UK, which really is the competence center for our aftermarket division, where a lot of our service business was born. And finally, here we have Latvia. Latvia deserves its own slide. It is our world-class manufacturing site. It was a purpose-built 10 million euro investment for Caljan. We've been manufacturing in Latvia since 2005, 2006, but this was our new building. We took it down to the bare bones and built a building specifically to create an efficient, world-class manufacturing site, and we're extremely proud. And if any of you would like to come and visit, you'd be more than welcome. The site's also recently been extended to include an aftermarket or service building, a demonstration centre, which we'll talk about more later, and most recently the addition of a steel profile storage building, again, allowing us more space and creating an efficient flow. But it truly is something to be very proud of at Caljan. If we talk about our automated products in a bit more detail, so in 2024, we created a dedicated division of automated products. That's not where this started. We've been delivering this type of product previously, but we decided in 2024, because of the market pull and because of the desire of our customers to automate the process for loading and unloading, it deserved its own division. And this dedicated division looks solely at automating the loose loading and unloading process. Currently, we have 5 core products that we're able to deliver to the market. Our auto unloader trailer, for those of you who joined our first webinar, that was the first subject. We have our auto unloader swap body. We have our auto loader, which we'll go into in a great deal of detail today. We have some robot collaboration. So we have collaborated with some world-leading robotic suppliers to create a robotic load and unload. And we have a new product coming to the market in 2025 and through 2026, which will be called Value on the Dock. The details of this will follow, and I'm sure we'll have lots of interesting webinars as we go through that journey. So why automated loading and unloading? It really is something, it's one of the hardest jobs in the warehouse, the most physically demanding jobs, and the drive and the purpose is to automate and semi-automate that process. We are acutely aware that it's hard to engage staff and to retain staff in what is quite a harsh environment of loose loading and unloading. So our products themselves, we have the fully automatic range, which will be the auto loader, which you'll hear more about, excuse me, you'll hear more about this morning. We have our auto unloader for trailer, which will unload at 5,000 items per hour. And we have our auto unloader for swap body. And the name is quite self-explanatory. One will do 40 to 53 foot trailers, and the swap body is exactly for that, for unloading swap bodies. We also have variations on this for our semi-automatic. So semi-automatic we count as where an operator can either sometimes be needed or it is driven to an operator rather than the operator going to the product. And we have our auto loader with manual front end where it is belt to parcel, and we'll come into more detail with Matthias later. And we also have our auto unloader swap body, which is a reduced throughput, which drives the product to an operator to face and place or to segregate. And sometimes this can be useful when we've got multiple SKUs coming into the same building. And as I mentioned before, the robot collaboration, these are products that are all available to us today. And we can give you more details on any of these that you need. Pop something in the Q&A and we'll come back to you. That covers our automated products. I'd like to now hand over to Cecilia to take the next couple of sections of this webinar. Cecilia.
Thank you, Paul. So the next on this for today is Caljan's journey to the AutoLoader version 4. So we start with a little history. Yes, and we get the timeline running. Perfect. It all started back in 1963 when Caljan was founded by 2 Danish entrepreneurs called Caljan and Jensen, which is the reason for the name Caljan today, first of their 3 letters put together. Then we fast forward to 1993 when we got the first request for an autoloading equipment and sold it, which was a standard telescopic conveyor that loaded automatically. This was the only automatic loading equipment we had sold or requested in 11 years. Then in 2014, something happened in the market and we started to get requests again. We made a new concept, which was version 1 of the AutoLoader. We had a telescope that moved from side to side within a fenced-in area and loaded automatically. 2 years after that, 2015 and 16, we developed version 2, which was an autoloading concept based on the same thing, just with a little more sensor technology. and we sold further projects. If we fast forward to 2022, we released the newest version at that time of the AutoLoader, which was version 3. That was a concept with a snoot that was based on our very popular Express Snoot innovation. This innovation allowed the snoot to move sideways instead of the whole telescope moving from side to side. The same year, Caljan launched the automated product division, which is the one that Paul and I are located in today, and we sold our first projects of this new AutoLoader snoot concept. Fast forward to today, where we introduce Caljan's AutoLoader version 4, which is with a new layering concept with a manual front end, so you can use the machine with manual operators if you need. And this will be the focus of today's discussion. So if we now move a little more into the actual AutoLoader version 4. Let me first introduce you to the Caljan AutoLoader, our fully automated solution designed to tackle one of the biggest challenges, which is loading loose-loaded cargo quickly, safely, and without any manual labor. Whether you're shipping parcels, polybags, or boxes, the AutoLoader can streamline the entire process for you, help you reduce cost, improve your throughput, and protect your workers. It is smart. It's built to meet the demand of today's high-volume distribution centers. Next is a little video to show the AutoLoader. So I will just change to this if we... Yes, that was a very small glimpse of the new features of the AutoLoader, which we'll come more into detail with and explain more in the following. So the AutoLoader is capable of handling around 3,500 parcels per hour, which is a huge leap in efficiency over manual methods where you normally load around 800 parcels per hour. It uses smart tech. It has sensors, lidars, and an auto-pivoting snoot to optimize fill and adapt to mixed freight. It boosts productivity by freeing up dock workers and reducing manual labor. The built-in safety system enhances workers' protection and is ready to load in under 2 minutes, which is delivering speed, consistency, and a real return of investment from day one, and also, very important, prevent accidents during operation. As we see here on the next slide, the AutoLoader is a feature-rich system. Here you see all of the options we have standardly included. I'll not bore you to go through them now. I'll show them live in a minute. I would just like to point out 3 of these features before we take a live look at the system. We have power saving sensors on the system, which you see here. which lowers the energy cost by automatically shutting down the unit once it's not being used, and it will automatically turn on again once a parcel arrives. We have a modem inside the cabinet that makes it possible for Caljan to support you remotely, which enables fast and remote troubleshooting, less downtime, and quicker support for you. We also have build tracking sensors inside the system, which extend the lifetime of the build, avoid costly repairs by catching issues early. Now let's move over to the demonstration center to show the unit in a live view. Thank you, Gondega. So today we have Gondega, who's filming at our facility in Latvia, where we have a unit, so we can actually demonstrate all the things we have on it. So first, let's take a look at the user-friendly interface and controls. We have a 7-inch HMI on the cabinet and push buttons above for minimal operator interaction. The HMI is adjustable for your changing operations, and the parameters can be adjusted as needed. It includes alarm locks, program locks, adjustable settings, sensors, LiDAR overview, as well as filling information. It minimizes operator training and interaction, and it reduces errors and overall labor time. Above this, we have our remote control pendant, which is designed for trained maintenance engineers. This is a detachable pendant that should be kept for maintenance use, and it allows for manual operation during maintenance or fault finding, and it's of course a hold to run process. Safety is a priority with a key switch that toggles between operations, maintenance, and manual modes. It simplifies maintenance and troubleshooting while ensuring a safe operation. Here we can also see our blue reset button, which is the one you need to go back and press once the safety area has been reached. Yes. Inside the cabinet, we have our internal modem for remote access that enables diagnostics and servicing without delays for fast support. The only thing you need is to turn on the machine so we can access this and quickly support you. Next on this is our parcel handling and alignment of parcels. Above here, we have our alignment side guides with our standard configuration that includes 2 sides with customization options available. It is ensuring that parcels are centrally positioned for an optimal loading, and the design is adjusted to each customer depending on the feeding system behind. It improves loading accuracy and efficiency by keeping all the parcels centered delivered to the snoot. We also have the power setting sensors, which detects inactivity and automatically shuts down the build to conserve energy. It is ideal for operation with sporadic parcel supply, and it includes programmable timers. The standard setting would be 1 minute of inactivity, but the timer is programmable and we can adjust it to suit all clients' needs, and it's very good for loading outside of main hours. Inside this base section, we also have the build tracking sensors that detects when the when the build is out of alignment, and it triggers maintenance modes, prolonging the life of the variable components and avoid costly maintenance. The unit will simply stop, activate an alarm, ask its supervisor to come, and then they will adjust the belt and turn the unit back in loading mode. Above the cabinet here, we can see the stack light with an audible alarm. It provides a clear visual and audible indicators of the system status with a green for running and red for faults. Today it's showing red, I can see, so I assume someone has just walked into a safety zone to activate it. If we go a little further to the front, we have our parcel height detection. This detects the height of each parcel as it travels along the machine. It adjusts loading positions for parcels of varying heights, ensuring efficient use of the trailer space, as well as allowing the machine to reposition to the loading snoot. This means if a big parcel is arriving, the snoot is too close to the ceiling, the snoot will automatically lower, find the next available spot, deliver the parcel, and afterwards return to the previous loading position for a better fill rate. Here in the front, we also see the yellow side guides that are fitted to the transition belt of the snoot. Gondega will just move over to them. Here, yeah, you see them. They assist the product transition alignment from the telescopic conveyor to the loading of the snoot for a seamless operation. On top of those, we have a roof detection sensor, which are ultrasonic sensors that are used to get us close to the ceiling in the trailer without damaging the ceiling and to protect the equipment and the cargo. Next is the machine protection and safety. So if we move below the machine, we have a safety lidar sensor, which is for movable machines. This creates an invisible safety barrier to restrict operators' access during operation, which was what we just saw on the backlight before. This shuts down the machine instantly if the safety barrier is breached. The lidar covers 260 degrees and ensures a safe operation. We also have an alternative to a fixed positioned machine, which is a fixed light curtain that consists of a light beam and reflectors. However, that doesn't work for a unit like this because this machine is moving along several doors, so it needs a safety equipment to follow with it. Overall, these safety, they keep the operator safe within the operational area. It monitors and makes sure that everything instantly shuts down if anyone walks into the zone. You can see here we have marked the zone with tape. This is not necessary. It's just to illustrate, don't walk into this zone. Now over to the snoot. The snoot is a fully articulating module that pivots left, right, up, and down to distribute all the products effectively. It ensures the safety by maintaining an appropriate distances from the trailer, roof, and sides using sensors and lidars that is mounted all the way around the front area. A short introduction to the manual front and control station plus the lidars, which Matthias will come more into later. But here in the side, you can see the new add-ons. We have 2 new lidars and a new control station that allows to use the machine in a manual mode if needed. This gives the operator more control and flexibility when needed without compromising the safety. Thank you, Gondega. We will now go back to the presentation to explain the loading process of this equipment. So, perfect. Thank you, Paul. So here we see an example of a loading process for a 40-foot trailer. Here we simply start the machine. You press start it. It waits 5 seconds, standard safety, and then a screen pops up or a message pop up on the HMI saying 3 questions. First, is there a trailer in front of the door? Second, is the door fully open? And third, is the area in front of the machine cleared? Once all of these things are confirmed, the operator can walk away and we don't need a person anymore. At this point, the machine will run in a fully automatic mode. Then the snoot will lower from whatever parking position it is. Normally this is 52 degrees, but this can all be adjusted. And then it would extend into the trailer. In the trailer, it will do the first boundary check where it reaches in and check what angle is the trailer parked at and also where to stop the loading on the way out. Then it moves in to do the second check where it checks again what angles are the trailer at and also where to stop and where's the end wall. And on the way, all the way in here, it also measures how close it is to the roof with the roof detection sensor. Then it begins the loading. The speed of the loading is running with 0.5 meter per second. So we've put in 3,500 parcels per hour. But this depends on the system you have behind. If there's a lot of smalls and they're coming in a consistent flow, then we can do a lot more than that. Once it's done, it automatically retracts, go back, it parks up the snoot, and then it calls for a supervisor to come and change the trailer so it can start to load again. Good. As we have mentioned earlier, let me just see if I can change slide here. Sorry. As we've mentioned earlier, Caljan has been deploying autoloading technology since 2014. Caljan's autoloader has always evolved to meet the market demands, which is what Caljan always do to meet all of our customers' demands. Version 3 was developed for polybags and small parcels. It was successful in delivering a high trailer fill percentage. However, with larger parcels and an increased parcel product mix, the system did not deliver the same results. Version 4 is our solution for that. Complete with the new filling concept and the technology changes, it allows the autoloader to deal with a much wider product mix, coping with the range and the product mix of a traditional parcel carrier that will be moving daily. Now I will let the word over to Matthias so he can explain the multi-layering filling concept, the rapid boundary check, the undersnood parcel detection, and the manual front.
Thank you, Cecilia. Yeah. Let's see if the slides work. Yeah. So yeah, we are very excited about this new version of the autoloader. We have worked very hard to getting this ready and are very excited about the new features that we have added, which includes a whole new filling concept and movement logic, and also that we have made it possible for both automatic and manual use. So let's talk about some of the details. We can get it to shift the slide. I don't know. I can't get it to change slide. Maybe Paul, you can help. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So we have completely reinvented the way we do the automatic loading, and with a new filling concept and a new movement logic. This is made possible because we have replaced our previous sensor technology with some new sensors, and the big difference is that we are now using 2 LiDAR sensors. One placed at the front, looking down and to the sides, and one placed at the rear end of the snoot, looking underneath the snoot forward. So those are the 2 pictures you can see on the right, where we have highlighted the planes that the LiDARs look in with the orange color. These 2 LiDARs are used during the teaching process, where they, as Cecilia just mentioned, where they map the container, and they're also used during the loading, where they are detecting parcels around the snoot. We have also added a small photo eye, which is looking across the belt underneath the tip of it. And this is used to detect the parcel jams at the end of this belt. All of these sensors have some great benefits, which includes some time saving during the teaching process, where we have 30% less time required. And they also make it possible for a more complex way of controlling the snoot. And next slide, we have a short video showing the teaching process. So maybe you can, yeah. So here we see the snoot, it's lowering, and then it's extending into the first boundary check, where the LiDARs will then detect the sidewalls and the floor, and the roof detection sensor will detect the distance to the roof. It then extends further in and make a second boundary check, and at the end it will start the filling process, where it moves down to the first filling point. So on the next slide, we have a more detailed explanation here of our new filling concept. So now we are dividing the whole trailer into 2 layers, and each layer has a set number of filling points, and we are also dividing each layer into sections. So on the bottom right picture, you can see the 2 layers, which is illustrated red and blue for the bottom and upper layer. And we have also tried to mark the sections with the S1, S2, S3, and S4, and so on. And on the top picture, you can see the filling point, which is marked with red dots. So the filling process will start at the bottom layer in S1 at filling point 1, which is marked FP1 here. It will then start filling that point up, and then it will move to the next filling point following the dashed arrows. And it will continue this process by filling each filling point until the whole section 1 has been filled. Afterwards, it will then move up to section 2 and continue the pattern. And then it will continue through each section this way until the whole container has been filled. The reason behind this new filling point or new filling concept is highly driven by listening to our customer and their needs. And some of the key features here are that we are now able to place parcels more gently with a low drop height. And with drop height, we mean the fall that the parcel experience when they tip over the end of the snoot. We can also reach the outer corners of the container more effectively and utilize more space inside the container to obtain a higher filling degree. And with the introduction of these new filling points, we now have a more detailed knowledge about the filling process from start to end, which is also visible on the HMI, so you can monitor exactly which filling point have been filled. And if we change the slide to the next one, there we have a short video showing the filling process in action. So here it starts at the first filling point, and it will always try to get as low down to the floor as possible when starting the filling. And then it moves to the next filling point, and again, it will try to move and then get as far down to the floor to reduce this drop height. Perfect. Then we skip to the next slide. Then we have a new exciting feature here also, because with these new filling points, we can now handle big parcels more effectively because we're constantly logging the filling process and know in which filling points has been filled and which is still empty. So this is a big improvement compared to our previous versions of the AutoLoader, because there we could also place a big parcel, but there we would not know where we have placed it in the container. So that is the illustration on this slide here, where we could get into a situation where we have placed a big parcel behind, and then we will try to lower and squeeze the parcel. That is now solved because we always know in which filling point we can place a big parcel, and we always know where a big parcel has been placed. So we avoid this, but with this new logic and also with the new sensors. Yeah. And the limit for when a parcel is considered a big parcel is a variable that we will help set, because it's very depending on the parcel mix that it's going to be used for. Yeah. And if we skip to the next slide. Yeah, because then we have the new exciting feature also on this one, which is the manual front. Because the AutoLoader is intended for automatic loading, but we also know that in some cases it would still be beneficial to switch it to manual use. So we have listened and prepared it so we can now both use it for manual and automatic loading, and also manual unloading, just with a simple switch of the key switch. So the key switch is Cecilia and Gundego also showed earlier, was placed at the control cabinet. So that just needs to be switched to the manual mode, and then you can start using it. To make the manual mode possible, we have added a control station on the right side of the snoot, and this control station is equipped with an emergency stop, a control panel where the belt can be controlled, and 4 navigation buttons which can be used to raise and lower the snoot, and also extend and retract the telescopic sections. And to make sure that we are safe, we have also added a photo eye looking across the top of the belt at the end of the snoot to stop parcels so they don't tip over, and a drum guard at the front underneath the belt also to avoid fingers being dragged underneath the belt. And then when the snoot is moving up, down, or extending, we are using the new sensor technology to detect if there's any obstacle and then stop the movement of the snoot so we don't damage anything or anyone. Yeah, and with that said, I would like to give the word back to Cecilia.
Thank you, Matthias. Good. So just a quick one before we move to the next thing, which I think we should mention, is a part of whenever we sell an AutoLoaded equipment, we always have a detailed commissioning at all customer sites. So we adjust to their parcel mix and their in general loading. We can also change this again with the modem during an installation or later on if needed, but everything is fitted to the exact customer. So yes. And then if we move to the next slide. Paul, I need you to help here. It doesn't allow me to change. Thank you. Here we have a machine in action that is efficiently handling a diverse range of parcels and bags. By utilizing the newly optimized filling pattern demonstrated by Matthias, we can now see the delivery of products to the machine does not need to be purely singulated traffic. However, if we have a pure bulk load with no gaps, it can of course be a challenge, but our AutoLoader is perfectly designed to handle high volumes seamlessly. The machine is capable of handling more than 3,500 parcels per hour. In this video, we're showcasing a high volume of small items, achieving an impressive throughput of more than 5,000 parcels per hour. So next slide here is applications and customer benefits. The deployment of the AutoLoader covers multiple market sectors, and therefore multiple product mixes are being transported on the AutoLoader. Covering parcel carriers, clothing and apparel, retailers, e-commerce, and 3PL applications, the Caljan AutoLoader is delivering automatic loading of products to each of these sectors. This demonstrates a wide range of products that the Caljan AutoLoader can successfully load. If we start with the parcel carriers, we can increase the throughput to 3,500 parcels per hour, again compared to the 800, cutting the dock turnaround time and getting shipments on the roads much faster. It ensures a consistent load fill quality. The sensors and LiDAR optimize the trailer fill and maximize the payload and reducing transport cost. It also reduces damage claims due to ensuring a consistent and optimized trailer fill with precise parcel placement, as Matthias just showed, unlike a manual stacking. The AutoLoader's automatic system guarantees efficient use of trailer space, minimize the risk of shifting or damages during transport. For clothing and apparel applications and retailers, it accelerates trailer fill and dispatch cycles for rapid store replenishments. It can handle flexible SKU mixes, boxes, polybags, and irregular shapes, common in omni-channel retail without manual reconfiguration. It also enhances safety by minimizing manual lifting and twisting, reducing workplace injuries and risk during high volume periods. For e-commerce, you can meet peak demands seamlessly during sales and seasonal spikes without having to hire temporary labor. You can achieve speed and accuracy. Automated loading handle mixed size parcels with consistent placement, reduction of misloads, and shipping delays. You can also improve your labor utilization by freeing the workspace associates from repeating loading tasks so they can focus on picking, packing, and other value-added activities. The last one is the third-party logistics. They shift rapidly between packaging type and different customer client requests without extensive retooling. Here you have a short payback periods on your capital investment. You can leverage remote demonstrations and testing at technology centers to validate workflow for your customers before rollout. The last part we would like to present, if Paul can change the slide for me, is what our customers have done after what they have achieved after they have acquired the AutoLoader. First, they have reached a faster throughput and a continuous feed. The AutoLoader can handle around 3,500 parcels per hour without stopping, which is more than 5 times faster than the usual loading rate of 800 parcels per hour. This significantly increases the throughput and ensures that the operations are running smoothly and efficiently. They also have acquired a shorter return of investments. They have experienced a shorter return down to 9 months, with some seeing a return of investment up to 2.5 years. This, of course, depends on the exact time frame, on factors such as the number of people that are currently employed, working hours, and available throughput delivered to the autoloader. This quick return of investment demonstrates the cost effectiveness of the autoloader. Also, we have customers that has transitioned from roller cages to pure loose loading. To achieve a better fill rate and eliminate the high investment in roller cages, customers have transitioned to pure loose loading. This change also eliminates the need to return empty trailers filled with roller cages, optimizing logistics and reducing cost. We also have added the manual front for full flexibility, which has been very good for some of our customers. For very heavy or fragile parcels, the customers can now change over to a manual mode whenever needed. This feature offers flexibility for different loading and unloading needs, and it ensures that all types of parcels can be handled with the care it needs. We have minimized reliance on manpower in case of absence. In times when it's difficult to find operators, which I think most people know, the autoloader is a reliable solution that is never sick. It's always running. It's never on a strike. It's always available, and it ensures a continuous operation without the need for human intervention for anything else than starting the unit. You don't need any operators. The autoloader operates fully automatically, eliminates the need for manual intervention. We have a customer that has reduced their operator count to 0 from 3 people per shift, which is showcasing the system's efficiency and labor-saving capabilities. We also have a customer that uses this over 3 doors. The system is versatile and can be configured to use across multiple doors by including a powered rail carriage system, which Gondega also showed was below the autoloader we had in our facility. This flexibility allows for efficient use of space and resources, and the possibility to load different trailers at different doors with only 1 unit. You can have a quicker trailer turnaround time. With the autoloader, trailers can be loaded on the road quicker and increasing delivery times and saving space in your building and your CapEx expenditure. And the last one is that you can load outside main hours. The autoloader can load outside the regular working hours, providing flexibility and efficiency without the need for operators. This capability ensures that operations can continue around the clock if needed. Overall, this solution is a step forward in transforming logistic operations. With the Caljan AutoLoader, you can achieve unparalleled efficiency, safety, and cost effectiveness. So if Paul will take us to the last slide, this is the last part of the agenda today, our technology centers. So if we shift once again. At Caljan, we have invested heavily in technology centers over the last 3 years. We now have 3 centers, one in Liepāja, Latvia, one in Halle, Germany, and one in Menomonee Falls, US. Today, we'll showcase our center in Latvia, which is the one we also showed the autoloader from earlier. These state-of-the-art facilities are used for live factory acceptance tests, to welcome customers, conducting remote demonstrations with customers' own parcels. This gives us the flexibility to create on-hands experience for our customers, as well as our own employees. So if we move to the next slide, we now have a video from the Latvian facility that features a full operational loop. Here we see an auto unloader that is positioned at one door, which is feeding cargo to the autoloader at the opposite door. Once the goods are transferred, the machines are rotated to reverse the process. The reason why we're shifting around these machines is simply because we don't have a lot of space out on the parking lot to change around the trailers. So it was a lot easier to move around the equipment. But here you can see how it works. Once again, it's the unloaded trailer or the trailer that is being unloaded has filled up the other one. They move around, and then we unload the now auto-loaded trailer and put everything back in. Yes. And the next slide. Thank you. So here you can see a few photos from our 3 technology centers. Our advanced camera systems can take you inside the trailers and provide a comprehensive overview of our operations. Joint for all of these 3 places is we have an autoloader to showcase. We also have other products to show. For 2 of the places, we have an ergo rider. In Germany, we have a documented labeling handling system. And we have the possibility to put in other products if needed. If you're interested in visiting any of these facilities, please reach out and we can schedule a tour of the location of your choice. This was actually the last part of the presentation. So Paul, I'll hand the word over to you for our Q&A session.
Perfect. So thank you to Cecilia, thank you to Matthias. Appreciate the effort and the work that's gone into that, and also the amount of talking as well. Well done, guys. I've just got the Q&A open on a separate screen, so I'm just filtering through to try and find the common themes, if you like, to answer the most important questions that we can find asked by most people. Don't worry if your question doesn't get asked. One of the team will reach out after this and be able to provide you with some information. So just looking at this now, one of the questions is about the trailer, and maybe Matthias, you can talk to this, specifically about a curved roof. And I think we had this application previously, talking about the different trailer types and the different configurations and how we cope with that with our technology.
Yes, yeah. So curved roof is not a problem for us, because when we do the boundary checks, we measure the distance to the roof, and if we have a curved roof, then we will make an extra, maybe a third boundary check, and then we would take the average distance to the height between the 3 different boundary checks to the roof.
Okay, thank you very much. And then there's 2 that probably feed into one here that I'm looking at. So I know, Cecilia, you touched on it. How should the parcels be fed to the autoloader? But I've got a secondary question. So let's ask that first one first, just to confirm that. How should the parcels be fed to the autoloader?
They should be fed individually. However, as we saw with smalls, it doesn't matter that they're a bit side to side. But they should be fed from a system behind it. Could be a curve, it could be a straight belt conveyor, however you want to do it. And then we will simply load them into the autoloader. Perfect.
Because I've got a secondary question here that I'll take. Is there a feature to teach the camera on the loader the parcel destinations, parcels label, to alert it not belonging to the correct truck? And this is something actually we're working on with a particular client at the moment to come up with a solution. So yes, it's possible. Is the ultimate answer. There's a few caveats to that, however. We'd need to singulate the parcel so that we can identify each one. And of course, we'd need to be able to see the barcode label or RFID so that we can scan probably 5 sides, maybe 6 if we needed to. But within the parameters of the settings, you can change your the rules. So for this particular application, there's a customer using 2 different freight forwarders. And when they're loading one particular freight forwarder, they don't want the traffic, which is for the other freight forwarder, to go on the wrong trailer because it costs them lots of money. So what we're developing at the moment is a gapping belt at the rear of the telescope to go through a scanner. And then depending upon which of those parameters we've set, we're actually looking at automatically diverting the offending traffic away from the autoloader and to a collection chute. So we can guarantee at that point anything that we identify that's for the wrong trailer, or it's not for that consignment, would be taken away before it goes inside the trailer. So yes, it's possible. It's not finished, but I know we're working on it quite hard in the background. There's a few things that I've got requests in with Matthias's team because we want to do the next thing. Speaking of which, Matthias, there's one here. We've talked about large parcels. What about parcel weight and heavy parcels? Can you talk to that?
Yeah, and that's also, as you said, Paul, that's something that we're working on. And with this new concept, with especially these new filling points, we have the ground or the base ready, you can say. So what we are working on now is adding the equipment or the stuff that we need to actually measure the parcels, because we do have the brain behind the software now for it, but we just need a solution for weighing the parcels in a smart and efficient way. And adding to that also that we are constantly trying to develop this and improve the whole concept as we go. And this is especially one of the high priorities.
Yeah, I think when we've talked about this in the previously, we're looking at not legal for trade weight capture, but generally a weight capture to be over a certain parameter, and we can change that parameter the same we can with the parcel height or parcel size. We would change the parameter of what is considered a heavy parcel, and then we can attend to those units, if you like. Again, the important thing here is that we don't have a bulk load, because if we take a bulk load over a weigh bed, then it would measure it as one parcel and put everything in the wrong place, and it would get quite complex. So it's a solution that's there, but it's not finished just yet. Cecilia, how fast can an autoloader load a 40-foot trailer? Simple and to the point.
That depends a lot on how you feed it. The build is moving 0.5 meter per second. So if we take an example with smaller polybags, then if you take and put 70 in a minute, then that would mean approximately 4,000 power. But also it depends on the size of these, and again, how are they being fed? Do we have a constant feed with 0.5 meter per second with small parcels? Then you can go a lot faster. If it's big parcels with a gap between the feeding, then it of course depends on the size and the time we get them.
Okay, thank you very much. And then there's a few comments on here that I can see asking around fill rates. And it's a really good question because there's lots of different ways to look at that. And I think, I mean, the one prime example we have from a customer is that we signed a KPI for 80% trailer fill, and we measured that trailer fill from the floor to the ceiling. What we are waiting on, I can't answer the question today, unfortunately, is the percentage difference between the manually loaded versus the automatically loaded. The data is coming back, but it's only recently been requested, let's say, so we can do a comparison between the two. For that particular request from us to the customer, and also for the customer to do their analysis, there isn't as much pressure on the volume within their trailer because they're shifting multiple trailers between 2 destinations every single day. So as long as it doesn't go over the threshold to a new trailer, then they're comfortable and they don't have that volume. But it is something that we're working on to get the data, which we can present back to the group, and I can answer those questions afterwards once we have the information. Just going through this now, there's a question about snake loading, and I believe that actually is to do with mixing the load, if I've read that correctly. If not, I'll reach out to this person afterwards and understand it better. But the question itself, can we mix the loads? So is it possible to have both palletized and cage loads and auto-loaded product in the same trailer? Cecilia, I think you've taken that one before with customers.
Yes, we can, especially now with the manual front. You can load the things automatically if you want, and then you can change it over to manual and then move in if you have some specific things that needs to be placed, or you can retract the unit and put palletized in the front. I hope that answered the questions.
Yeah, so I think with the new loading mechanism and with what Matthias has shown us with the filling zones and the filling layers, we're able to actually program the machine to stop at a certain point if we so decide. So if we know that, for example, 2 rows of pallets that we need, so therefore we need 2.4 meters of spare space, we can tell the machine that at 3 meters before the end of the trailer, we want to stop auto loading. And then you can backfill the trailer with your palletized or caged heavy goods, normally heavy, large, awkward, bulky items. So again, that's possible. That's all configurable as part of the site work that we would do with our customers as is standard. How do we deal with the mixed loads? And then,
and if I can just follow up on that, Paul, it's actually really easy to do this on the HMI. On the HMI, you can adjust the percentage fill you need for, can we say, the day or for the operation. So if you have something that needs to go out very quickly, you can, as an example, change it to 30%. Then on the way in, when it does the boundary check, it detects where to end the loading, and then it would simply just stop after what percentage you set it to. And that can be changed between each operation.
Perfect, thank you. So conscious of time, so we can wrap up, I think. There's a question, how do I make sure the autoloader will fit my operation? Cecilia, can you take that one?
Yeah. Part of what we always do at Caljan is that we offer that we go on a site and we do a site survey. Especially for our automatic solution, we always do this. We go to your site, we help, we measure up, we figure out how does it feed behind, what is the height, what different parameters do we need to look at, such as a curved roof. Is there anything in front of the door we need to be aware of? And also, what is the parcel mix you have? And all of this, we go to the site and we help measure up. So you're sure that you get the product that fit into your operation.
Perfect, thank you very much. And so with that, I think there's a few unanswered questions. There's a few comments and things. What we will do is the team will reach back out to each of you to go through any of those over and above. I personally like to thank Cecilia and Matthias for the effort and time today. But obviously, of course, thank you to all of you guys who have attended. Thank you for joining and listening to us and bearing with us. I hope you found it insightful, and we look forward to speaking with you more about Caljan innovation in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.